Hey, D&D memes are just for fun, so I get it. This video critiquing them is also just for fun, so you shouldn't take it 100% seriously. Guys! The gist of this meme is very simple. Through a clever use of a magical item, a player created a handheld ship cannon. There are many reasons why this won't actually work, but let's just focus on the 5 tons of cannonballs. When I brought this up in a Discord, there were so many people saying, oh no, you can just do this with the normal rules. And it's just like, guys, the normal rules, there's actual rules in the normal rules. You can't just do stuff like this. So again, 5 tons of cannonballs, let's just say conservatively that's about, 200 cannonballs. For the sake of brevity, let's just assume it's 200. 200 cannonballs shrunk down, apparently permanently, so this guy could use them as bullets for his flintlock. This is one of those weird memes where it's just like, look how cool I can be in the game without breaking the rules. And when I saw this meme, I commented, like, it's so weird that so many of these, like, you would have to homebrew it to make this make any kind of sense. So, like, what's the point of doing stuff like this in the game? And I was told in a Discord, oh no, this is, what are you talking about, homebrew? This is well within the rules. Okay. So they're talking about permanent spells, which in 5e doesn't exist, really. And 3.5 and 3.0, it's all XP costs. So if we do some quick calculations for XP cost to make what is happening in this meme actually happen in a game of 3.5 D&D, it would cost merely... That's completely ridiculous. So quickly everybody said, oh no, we're talking about Pathfinder, clearly. Clearly we're talking about Pathfinder, because Pathfinder you can do the permanent spell with gold cost. So again, I crunched some numbers like relatively quickly, and it's like you're talking about... Okay, so if your game makes any kind of sense at all, this is a ridiculous amount of gold for the players to get that weren't, like, already high-level, like, god creatures. So if somebody's running around trying to be impressive with a ship cannon weapon, then he's not clearly high enough level to have enough gold to make this dumb weapon in the first place. This is where my mind kind of broke, so... feel free to enjoy the rantings as I just kind of ramble on about how dumb this whole situation is. It's always interesting because these memes always seem to be kind of like couched in this thing where it's like, oh, I made my DM so mad because I did this crazy thing that was according to the rules. But mostly it's like this meme here where it's just like, this would not work in any actual rule set. You would have to homebrew it like so heavily to make this stupid thing work. So if it's Pathfinder, what's the point? That's 6d8 damage. That's not great when you consider a high-level character like this would probably have access to weapons that do, like, brilliant energy damage. Or they could be buying, like, arrows of greater slaying and stuff like that. Like, the whole point seems to be just, like, a braggadocious thing where you're trying to, like, get one over on the DM, but clearly, in this case, if this actually happened, which it probably didn't, the DM was in on the joke. There are 2 games in D&D. There's the game that actually gets played around the table with other people, and then there's the game that people sometimes play alone outside the game that they try to spring stuff on the DM and the other players to show how clever they are and stuff. And that stuff is not the stories that you're going to remember. The stories that you remember is stuff that actually happens around the table where you're actually collaborating with the players and the DM to try to come up with something. If this kind of stuff is up your alley, that's cool. Just, if anybody is going to try to do this stuff, just realize that the DM actually kind of has to be in on it for most of this stuff to actually work. And don't think you're putting one over on him, because the DM's job is to make everybody have a fun game. And if this is your idea of a fun game and the other players are cool with it, then that's cool. Just, don't expect a unaware DM to just let the shit slide. Because they're not going to. I hate to break kayfabe. This is a very permissive DM who is allowing players to do stuff like this. And if you're in that game, then fine. Your DM is allowing you to do it. Everyone's probably having fun. It's great. However, don't then expect that this sort of setting is going to make any sort of sense To allow stuff like this, you have to start doing nonsensical stuff. And frankly, in the vast majority of games, as soon as you allow nonsensical stuff to kind of creep into your fictional fantasy world, it stops being as fun. I mean, what makes D&D fun is the collaboration between people. If you keep on bringing stuff like this meme into your game, and it doesn't work, then just stop and, try to figure out what kind of game the DM is trying to run, or find a new game that allows this sort of stuff, because you can't have actual rules in meme D&D in the same game. It doesn't work. This D&D meme gets a 0, because it both implies that the DM wasn't in on it, and that this somehow happened within the actual rules of a structured game. Not the case at all. And I will leave you with this. Constraint breeds creativity. If you are allowed to do anything in D&D, that only has meaning if you are constrained by the rules and by a situation that is not going to grant you everything you want to do. Because if you have everything already, then there's no actual triumph in accomplishing anything. Being constrained by the rules creates real creativity, and that creativity will result in some truly memorable situations. Or you could keep on playing meme D&D. That worked out great for Tiberius. Oh.